Fight!
The fatalities, chat, all over the place. Stay with me now, guys. Stay with me now. Here we go. Yeah, I came in a little late there. I was dragging, chat. My apology. Or maybe I was rushing. But welcome to the stream. So let's just get into it. Let's start with this review, guys, for 2016 Suicide Squad. Now, this was the year. This is a bad fucking year for DC. Because, what, a couple of months prior in March, I think, they released Batman v Superman, and, you know, I'm going to tell you right now, I hate Batman v Superman. I think that's one of the worst movies of this decade. It just bastardizes those characters. You gave it to a director who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He loves the image. He loves the image of the comics, the panels themselves, but he doesn't understand the fucking context. Yeah, he can replicate that on the screen, but not who those characters actually are. That's why that movie suffered as much as it did. And it's just unintentionally funny because it's so goddamn self-serious. Ridiculous. But this is not a review for Batman v Superman, it's a review for Suicide Squad. So already, at this time, with my mindset, when I walked into Suicide Squad, I was still, you know what, I was still hopeful. Because it's like, guys, you don't know, I'm a big fan of the Suicide Squad comic book, like when it first started in I believe the 80s, by John F. Ostrander. I love that. Basically, it's like these B, D, all the way down to Z-list characters in the DC universe, villains who just get, together because the U.S. military captures them, throws them in jail, led by a Madam Waller, who's their handler, and sends them out on suicide missions. She calls them Task Force X, but they call themselves the Suicide Squad. Because a lot of them don't come back, Chad. Don't get attached to these sons of bitches. Who was that? Who was that giving me a host? Oh, Ion Laser, welcome to stream. Hope you're doing very well tonight, my man. And so I've always been a big fan of Suicide Squad, and I was very surprised that DC and Warner Bros. Decided, like, yeah, let's make this the third film in our cinematic universe. Because Suicide Squad, that's the film you do, like, when you're on your second or third phase, when you've already established some of these villains already, you already know them, you already know who Harley Quinn or Deadshot or Captain Boomerang are, because you've already seen them in previous films. So it's like, okay, you have some investment in the movie already. And that's a big thing what the movie struggles with, I think, overall, is that you have all of these characters and you really don't give a shit about any of them, because the things that they show that the characters are doing, you're not interested in it, or it's fucking half-baked. And that's the biggest crime this movie does. Again, it's a disservice to the characters from the comic that you're seeing on screen, because they don't give enough of them to do. And yet the movie is so goddamn long. This movie's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it feels like nothing happens in it. And that's a huge failure to me. So I was still hopeful for this film when I originally saw it back in the day, but I was incredibly disappointed. The movie did well, as we all know, directed by David Ayer, etc., etc. Huge behind-the-scenes problems in terms of what they wanted the movie to be. And the editors of the trailers came in, they totally re-edited the movie, and it was a mess, but it made a lot of money. How much did this thing make? What, like 700, 800? Made $746.8 million. She had a $175 million budget. So it was a hit, despite the extremely negative press and fan reaction. It was a hit for people. But I was not a fan. And so this is my second time ever watching this movie, Chad. I did not watch the extended cut. It's the original cut. And, the film takes place about like a year after the death of Superman. And, you know, the world's mourning him, even though they despised him and feared him in all the other previous films that featured him. So it's like, all right, this is some retconning bullshit already. So already I was in a foul move rewatching this again. I'm like, nah, I remember. But he killed Doomsday, apparently. Sure. But the film opens up on Belle Reve Prison, chat, in Louisiana, which is an actual prison from the DC universe, which, oh, that's kind of cool. That's where they send a lot of super criminals and super villains there. It's like, oh, this is nice. I like that. That was like, oh, this is something I like. But then we cut to the cell where we see Big Willie, Will Smith. He's just punching some mats, kind of like a makeshift punching bag. He's super fucking sweaty. Clearly, Chad, if he doesn't get some water, he will collapse and die. Again, the prison he's in is just fucking concrete walls and a little sliver of a window, but he's not doing well. That comedian guy. Who's the comedian in this movie, chat? He plays the security guard. I always forget his name. Ike Berkowitz, I think. We're going to call him Ike Berkowitz. Bran Holtz. Baron Holtz? I'm going to call him Ike Berkowitz. That's his new name. So Ike Berkowitz, he's kind of like the big, time guard there at Belle Reve Prison. And, he's talking shit to Will Smith, and Will Smith is talking shit to him. That's the dynamic, Chad. They're showing that there's tension in this prison. This is kind of like a menagerie of villains. Because after he's done talking to Will Smith, he goes ahead and talks to Harley Quinn, who's in a whole cell block of her own. And kind of very Hannibal Lecter-esque, chat. And she's doing gymnastics with her bedding. And fucking Ike Berkowitz, he comes in and is like, oh, you're so fucking hot, but I know what you did. You put my boys in the goddamn morgue a couple of days ago. Establishing that Harley Quinn is a threat, chap. And she's all, being erotic and stuff, chap. But Ike knows that she's clearly manipulating him. And he fucking tases her with a cattle prod. She goes down. It's like, okay, this is bad nonsense. We also cut to some other cells. We see Killer Croc, I believe. And I cannot believe this makeup won best. Because what was the award? Best makeup at the Oscars in 2016, 2017? It looks bad. It does not look good to me. Killer Croc should be a CGI creature. And he should be fucking hulking. Very intimidating. This is like an old man waddling around and with scales on him. Like a really shitty skin condition. And you can't even hear him because he has those fake faux crocodile teeth in his mouth. I'm like, what did he say? I need to turn the subtitles. I couldn't understand Killer Croc. It was very difficult. I was like, okay, I don't know what the fuck he said. He's a crocodile. He lives in the fucking sewer prison cell. They give him meat, and everything. He attacks the guards occasionally. They have some comedic bits where he grabs one of the guards and he punches him or something. Or he just drags him in the water, but he doesn't kill him. Or anything, but then Ike Berkowitz was like, oh, was that the new guy he apparently killed instantly? I didn't see any blood, chat, but whatever. This is also PG-13. So if you think you're going to get a Suicide Squad movie, this is the first big problem they ran into. This film should have been rated R. And that's a huge issue that it wasn't. These are the fucking bad guys, the worst of the worst B and D-list villains you can get, and they're not murdering people horrifically. That's what they should be doing. That's the point of the team itself. They do the dirty jobs, and they come out dirtier. Whatever. So it's a menagerie of supervillains, and we get to know a handful of them. Like I said, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, those kind of your two main ones, and Killer Croc for whatever reason. So they're establishing okay. Belle Reve Prison, this is a serious place. Then we cut to, I assume, is Gotham, maybe? Or maybe it's what's the city in the movie, chat? Midway City? I think it's Midway City. It's one of the DC cities. And we were introduced to Amanda Waller, chat, and she is a no-nonsense kind of gal. She runs that Belle Reve Prison. She's been looking for all these very super criminals and assassins. Because she's got a plan, and she's got to sell it to the government. She wants power, chat. She's a son of a bitch, too. And, she's walking this restaurant. She sees some guy hawking T-shirts of, "We love Superman," which is fucking bullshit because you guys all feared him because he was a sociopathic monster in Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. But whatever. We'll move past that. Goes in a restaurant. She sees, Sheriff Hopper from Stranger Things. And she's trying to sell him on the concept of the Suicide Squad, chat. And she goes through the entire list of characters. This is where the edits came in. Because, they have the menagerie, all the villains, and they get, their little bios, and they're all colorful. But it goes by so fast, you can't read anything. And so she does the Deadshot thing. We get a background of Deadshot, and shows that, he's a shit-talking assassin. He's like, all right, man, you pay me that $1 million. I don't want no lip. The guy gives him lip. All right, you gave me lip, man. You give me another $1 million. And they give him another $1 million, and he does the cool things. Honestly, Chad, like I like Will Smith's outfit in this movie as Deadshot, but that mask he wears looks like someone from Party City. The mask doesn't look great, and Big Willie didn't want to cover that pretty face up either. And so I was fine with him not wearing the mask, but his suit is pretty cool. I like his weapons. But yeah, we see Deadshot showing off. Within this flashback sequence, there's a lot of flashbacks in this movie, Chat. We do a flashback sequence where Will Smith is walking with his daughter. And listen, man, I don't like talking shit about kids, but this actress they got to play his kid, she's terrible. Every line, it just falls flat. And Will Smith's like, okay, I got to try to sell this, but it is really, it's cringy. It's cringy. It's fucking Christmas. They're going shopping. Will Smith, oh! You are. Oh! Ew! Show, thank you for the 100 biddies! I'll give and soul, hello! And good to see you. Corbin, Viola Davis just looks like she does not want to be in the film. Oh, we'll get to that, man. Well, apparently, she had a really bad experience working on this film. Because she did not put up with Jared Leto's shit, Chad. We'll get to Jared Leto in a hot second. We'll get to him now. Because Jared Leto's a fucking method actor. And so he just does weird shit because he thinks that helps his performance. It did not. It did not in this film. And so he was like sending his co-stars, like, I think he sent Margot Robbie like used condoms, and he sent like bullets to Will Smith and some like a dead rat at one point, and oh god, I forgot the actress's name. Amanda Waller, Viola Davis. Thank you. Viola Davis is like, no. And, like, people would ask her, like, in interviews on the red carpet, and she's like, what was it like working with Jared Leto? And she's like, he fucking sucks. I mean, not in so many words, but you could tell she despised him. And I would too. That's ridiculous, the stuff he pulled. Like, he brought a dead pig to, like, a script, like a script reading of all the other actors and David Ayer. It's like, fuck that bullshit. And David Ayer apparently capitulated to him because he would only refer to Jared Leto as Mr. J. It's like, all right, that's bullshit. Heath Ledger didn't fucking do that on set. Goddamn, Jack Nicholson didn't do that on set. So that I hate that kind of shit. That's just obnoxious. I would never tolerate that. Like, all right, get the fuck off my set. I'll call Warner Brothers and get like a good actor in here. And look, Jared Leto's been in some good stuff. That's how I would just say it because I'd be so frustrated with him. And so yeah, fucking, we cut back to Deadshot, and Amanda Waller saying, yeah, he was with his daughter that day, and fucking Sheriff Hopper's asking, well, how did you catch him? He's like, we didn't. And we cut down this alleyway, he's walking his daughter, then fucking Ben Affleck Batman, thick Ben Affleck Batman, comes down upon him, chat, and they start tussling and wrestling, and fucking Deadshot was just about to shoot Batman, chat. Like, Batman, like, he lost grip of him, and, like, Will Smith, Big Willie brought up the gun, but the daughter's like, no, don't, Daddy, no, don't. And it's, like, terrible and everything. And he's like, oh, you bitch. And so, Ben Affleck's doing his weird modulated Batman. It's over, Deadshot. I don't want to do this in front of your daughter. And he's like, okay, he doesn't. And so he arrests Deadshot, leaves him handcuffed to, like, a fence or something. Daughter's with him. He's like, fuck! So clearly the daughter, chat, she is the villain of the movie so far. She is the worst and most villainous character. She's the thing that they must defeat later on in the film. Because she's unnecessary. So after that, and then that's why he's in Bellevue Prison. We cut to Harley Quinn. We get a super abridged origin story for Harley Quinn, which I'm like, this is bullshit. I would love to have seen the live action origin of Harley Quinn. They don't do much with it. There's one scene I like, but they don't do much with it here. They do the whole spiel. You heard about it. She was a psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum. She was the Joker's. Joker was her patient. They fall in love, yada, yada, yada. He fucked with her brain and everything, torturing her. And then eventually, she became his lover. That's just the way it was. Then we see some cuts where Jared Leto's Joker, and oh god, Chad, he's so fucking terrible. Every scene he's in, he cannot sell this. He's like, yeah, babe. Like every line of dialogue, he's over enunciating things. He's doing weird motions, animalistic noises, and touching people. It's like, this isn't intimidating. I would fucking laugh at you. Yeah, he'd probably kill me, but I would go out laughing. Like he's doing like a really shitty version of what Heath Ledger did in The Dark Knight, and it's disappointing. But yeah, eventually we're at like the Joker's nightclub because I guess he has the licenses and everything to own a nightclub in Gotham. Sure, whatever. And fucking Common, who comes in as the Tattoo Man, another D-list villain, says, "Oh, no disrespect, Joker, but I love you, lady." Joker's like, "Fuck you," apparently, even though he should have just taken the compliment. And Harley Quinn comes over, and Joker's like, "Oh, I give you to her, or her to you." And he's like, "Oh, I want to do that, man." And then Joker freaks out and shoots Common. And I was like, okay, that was a scene that happened. And he's doing the, you got beef, man. And the, terrible. And then eventually we cut to a new scene when Joker and Harley Quinn are in this really pimped out purple Lamborghini. And they're driving, and fucking Ben Affleck's Batman, the Batmobile, he's chasing after him, lands on the roof, action scene, shooting, all that. Fucking Mr. J takes a dip into the Gotham River. Harley Quinn's like, "I can't swim!" And, Mr. J just takes off. Apparently he's an Olympic fucking swimmer, chat. By the time Batman gets down there, the Joker is nowhere to be seen, but Harley Quinn is still there. And Harley Quinn tries to stab Batman, but he punches her underwater in the face, which I don't think that can actually work really well. I don't know how you knock someone out underwater with a punch. That'd be very difficult. But he is the Batman after all. Fucking he rescues her. He does CPR and, the mouth thingy. I don't know what it's called. CPR. And she fucking makes out with Batman. He's like, "Blah!" And he punches her again. And then that's when she's in Belle Reve. We get some other cuts of some of the other characters. Killer Croc, I think at one point, whatever. Captain Boomerang, chat. And he's like, he was known for robbing all the banks in Australia. Came to America to rob a bank, betrayed his partner, and we get a cameo from Ezra Miller's Flash, chat. And Flash takes him out, and he's in Belle Reve, I think, or somewhere, I don't know. We got the El Diablo, who was, I guess, a gangster in L.A., and covered in facial tattoos and things, and he, is like, "How'd you capture him?" It's like, "Oh, we didn't capture him. He gave himself up because he did something nefarious, chat, and he doesn't want to do any violence to another soul for the rest of his life." It's like, all right, that was weird. There might be other characters that they're mentioned here. I don't remember them, chat, so forgive me. She mentions Rick Flag, who's like the greatest soldier on Earth, apparently, trained by the military, the U.S. military. He's super boring, chat. There's nothing interesting about him. But he does play a central role because, this is the premier Suicide Squad member, at least according to Amanda Waller, because she's got the Enchantress. And the Enchantress, chat, this character, who is played by Cara Delevingne, I don't know what the fuck her name is. I can't remember it, chat. But basically, Enchantress, she was this the archaeologist who came upon this, I don't know, Aztec temple, and she touched some nonsense she shouldn't be touching, chat. Bad juju. She touches this statue that's like on this altar, and then this fucking smoke comes out, and there's like this Gollum-esque lady who's the Enchantress, and she's like, showing all the everything off. The bazingas is popping and locking the entire time. And she goes inside her tummy, through the mouth. And the Juno Moon, I think that's her name, Juno Moon. She is then possesses the Enchantress. She's super powerful. This is magic for the first time being introduced to the DC universe, chat. For the most part, it's always been science based. This is magic, and she can do pretty much anything she wants in the movie. But because even fucking Sheriff Hopper's like, "Well, how do you control her?" It's like, "I got her heart." And it's like, "How do you get her heart?" It was in the temple, apparently. And like, okay. And so she has it in this like a special case, chat, and where anytime you just pop that little sucker open, start stabbing the heart. Or if the Enchantress tries to go after her heart, the case itself will explode. Which I don't know how they did that with proximity. I don't really understand it. How is it encoded to the... I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's fucking weird and bizarre. And then she's like, "All right, so these are the people that I want to put together of my task force. We got Superman, he's gone. Batman's crazy. We don't know who that Wonder Woman is. There's a fish guy and a guy who's very fast. But we need someone that we can control, who are under us." And fucking Sheriff Hopper's like, "Hey, you convinced me. Let's go do this same scene again, not 5 minutes later, because then fucking Sheriff Hopper's selling the concept of the U.S. government to the Secretary of State, I believe." It's like, why are we doing the scene over again? I don't know. And this is when we see, like, the Enchantress doing some weird shit. She goes ahead and steals some papers from Tehran, the capital of Iran. And she brings it back, and the general's like, "Oh, we approve of this. She's fucking weird and creepy, but we like it. As long as you control her, we'll green light Task Force X," chat. And it's like, oh, it's gonna happen. Yay. Now, after that wonderful meeting, I forgot a huge crucial detail, chat. So Rick Flag, he was assigned to Dr. Moon, to the Enchantress, by Amanda Waller. And this was all part of Amanda Waller's evil plan, because she wanted Rick Flag to fall in love with her for whatever reason, so she can manipulate Rick Flag. So that'll be his thing. And so at this point, Rick Flag and Juno Moon are going to go back to the hotel and start banging. But Juno Moon, she falls asleep. But then the Enchantress comes out. Because when she says the word Enchantress, because sometimes she's like, apparently she has control of it at times. Because when she went to Tehran to steal the papers, she said Enchantress, and that brought her back out. But then she just says it in her sleep for whatever reason. Again, it's okay, it's kind of weird when you can and cannot use this power, whatever. She says in her sleep. And Rick Flag's like, what are you doing? And she's like, man, and she disappears. She just goes out of there. Rick Flag's freaked out by it. It's like, okay. But she goes, where does she go next? Did she go back to the temple? Did she go back to the Aztec temple? No, I think she okay, now I remember, Chad. Okay, so she transports herself to the home of Amanda Waller, who's fucking not very neat, Chad. Very unorganized. Fucking food and papers and sticky notes are all over this place. And she just passed the fuck out. She didn't even change out her clothes, so she's tired. I know she has a hard job, but cleanliness is good. You should have good hygiene, Amanda Waller. Please do so. And so she's going after the harp, and then that's when the motion thing kicks in. And I don't know how that works because other people are also going around the box of her heart in it, but they're not setting it off. Do they have it coded to her DNA? I don't know. It's not explained. It doesn't make any sense. And she's like, okay, well, I can't fuck with that right now. Let me go get my brother. Because apparently, Chet, she's got a brother who was also on the altar in the temple in the Aztec place. And she goes into Amanda Waller's heavily secured office. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Enchantress can teleport anywhere. She can summon soldiers of the undead, Chat. She can make giant blue beams in the sky. Again, she's a crazy fucking power set. But she goes into Amanda Waller's office, takes the little figurine that her brother's hiding in, and then she goes to, well, you can't reveal the location of the city yet because it's a surprise, Chat. She goes to oh god, what's the fucking word? Subway station. And she comes upon this poor, innocent, unsuspecting guy who's just washing his hands. He's trying to go on a date, Chat. Listen to this dialogue. He's like, yeah, no, I can't wait to go on this date with you. And then fucking Enchantress comes back behind him and hits him in the goddamn face, Chat. And then she puts her brother inside of him. He goes right up there, Chat. And so the brother's inside of him, possesses this guy who we never know his name. He just wanted to go on a date. He wanted to get home from work. That was his thing. Fuck him. I guess it didn't matter. So the brother goes up inside him, and he's still fucking weak. He's like, sister, what's happened? And she's like, oh, why did they turn against us? And they're like, oh, the humans are evil. They don't worship us anymore. They worship machines, and I shall give them a machine to worship. And I'm like, okay, sure. And he's like, okay, brother, I'm going to go build my machine, but you must gather your strength. And the brother, he's like, I will do so, sister. And he fucking walks out of the bathroom. He's popping and locking Chad himself. He doesn't have a good motion control at this moment, motor control. So he fucking collapses. All the people are like, we got some concerned citizens. They're like, oh my God, we got to help this guy. I have a cop right there, have a physician. He's like, okay, I gotta do mouth to mouth. And they pull this from the fucking thing, Jet. They steal this. Then all of a sudden, these fucking the hentai tentacles pop out, and they go all inside the people, right through them. And they start like it's like cool in concept, like the idea of this. It's kind of horrific, but he starts rolling around and starts attaching other people, going through them and things until they end up on the tracks of the subway. And the brother then forms this Aztec, this terrible CGI gold and black Aztec body, and he sees the subway coming. He just fucking punches his hentai tentacle right through it, and it's like splits in two the entire time. It's not a great effect. People running around. It's like, okay, there's fucking chaos right now. We need Task Force X. We need the Suicide Squad at this point. Oh yeah, you know what? I missed some scenes because before all that, I think Amanda Waller also goes to Belle Reve Prison to basically initiate what the Suicide Squad's going to be, and so she talks to some of the prisoners. At one point, she talks to Will Smith, says, "Hey, we need to see if you're good at using weapons," and they just give Will Smith in a fucking no security real. I mean, they got security there, but it's like loaded weapons. Fucking Ike Berkowitz is there. A guy who's always fucking with them. He starts shooting off. He almost fucking kills Ike Berkowitz, but. And we get, the Will Smith classic lines. You jokers must be crazy. And hell no and all that. Like, all of it's in there, chat. It's very embarrassing. Harley Quinn, she's freaked out by Amanda Waller. Rick Flag goes to talk to Killer Croc. They have actually a good heart-to-heart chat. Rick Flag and Killer Croc. And some of the other characters might be there, too. But basically, it's like, hey, Amanda Waller's just there to say, hey, I'm going to be your new boss. This is what the Suicide Squad's going to be. You have no room for negotiation. If you survive these missions, you will get time shaved off your time in prison. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Again, it's so, the editing, chat, and this is so terrible that I just forget where these scenes are in the movie. It's all over the fucking place. There are also multiple scenes of Harley Quinn and her origin that's expanded upon. We get more Joker scenes. And this is the one part of the movie that, this is one of the few parts I actually really like. I don't like some of the acting in it, but I like the idea of the scene itself, where Joker takes Harleen Quinzel, Dr. Harleen, because she's not Harley Quinn yet, to the Ace chemical plant. That's funny enough, she blows up in Birds of Prey. I was like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, okay, what will you do for me? Will you die for me? He's like, no, that's not right. What will you live for me? And she's like, I'll do anything for you, Mr. J. And he's like, all right, fly, my birdie, fly. And she just launches herself right off the edge of this thing, man. Right into the vat of asses below. But the thing is, if she hit that going at that height, that speed, she would be dead. She would hit the bottom of that vat and that'd be it. And Joker's like, all right, problem dealt with. But that's what we think. Like, Joker's like, ha ha, and he walks away. And he's like, he doesn't care. But then he stops. And I really like this scene, though, chat. Even though I don't like Jared Leto's performance, this is the one moment where I was like, this is kind of cool. So she drops in. Joker doesn't care. He walks away. But he stops himself. And he goes, there's something about that woman. And he turns around, takes off his coat, and just and he does like a cool move where he just he just falls right into it, and just smacks dab and brings her out of the acid. His clothes are melted off his skin. Her clothes are melted off of her, and they have this moment when I really like it, Chan. And they start making out. It's hot. I thought that was cool. What do you guys feel about that scene? I kind of liked it. Shouldn't change his skin again, right? That would have been funny. She would know. There's no way that she would live. I completely agree with you, XS. There's no question. Zero. Too bad they didn't really flesh out the Yeah, exactly. That's what the movie should have been about, chat. They should have just done an adaptation of Assault on Arkham, the animated movie for a few years ago. That was great. Yeah, I liked it too. But yeah, I like the music that they used. Even though it's a little, no, I don't know. The music fit the scene that they were trying to go for. I actually like Jared Leto in this moment and Harley Quinn. It was just, I really liked how it was shot. It was a little CGI heavy to me, but there was just something about it. I was like, I like this. Yeah. So much other noise and bullshit going on in this movie that at the time it got to that scene, I was like, no, I agree with you. But it just stuck out to me. And I was like, I'm impressed by this. I liked it a lot. And there's various other scenes of them. Yeah, I don't know. Meanwhile, okay. Oh, now I know what happens next. So then they're going to put together the Suicide Squad proper to take on this threat. We also get another scene of Joker because he wants to find Harley Quinn because she's been in Bellevue prison for months. And he manages to get a hold of Ike Berkowitz, who's one of the guards. Apparently he has a very bad gambling problem. Joker finds this out and he's like, all right, I'm going to kill you unless you tell me everything I need to know about how to get Harley Quinn out of Bellevue prison. And Ike Berkowitz, we assume, just does. He goes to this facility, chap. That has these little technology that Amanda Waller's using, because the Suicide Squad, in order to control them properly, they're injected with this little, I guess, remote bomb, this micro bomb that's planted in their necks. So if they try to escape or kill Rick Flag or anyone else, they'll fucking activate the bomb and it'll blow their fucking head off their bodies. It's like, okay, it's effective. And so Joker, he learns about this through Ike Berkowitz's character. He goes to the facility that were making all this shit. And, he interrogates the guard. He's like, all right, listen, how you doing this? And so he's like, okay, once I get Harley Quinn, I'm going to shove the technology, and then I can rescue her properly. He's like, okay, that makes sense. I got you. Cut back to Bellevue Prison. They're getting the whole team together, flying them out to this specific city. I guess it's Midway City in the film, which is a DC city in the DC universe, which is kind of cool. They get them all, and they start introducing the other members of the team we might have missed. I mean, then we see properly, Captain Boomerang. It's the first time he's in the movie, when it's not been a flashback. He gets out of his goddamn sack, he starts punching everyone. Killer Croc's there, some other, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Rick Flags, none too pleased. I'll kill any of you if you betray me. It's like, okay, Joe, come on, I know you have a thick accent, but come on, man. It's not helping with your dialogue delivery. Oh, and then we're introduced to the most important character in the movie. This guy did not get a fun opening colorful credit sequence. We're introduced to Slipknot. And as Rick Flag describes him, I forgot this line was in the movie. The man that can climb anything. And I'm like, oh my god. It's so fucking lame. And he punches a woman, chat, to establish, like, oh, he's not good. Not only is he a bad guy, but he's a really bad guy. And it's like, oh, this is so fucking dumb. So yeah, they get all their gear together. They start packing up. You know, Harley Quinn, you know, she's shaking. They're showing up. I kind of feel bad for Margot Robbie because, look, I know, like, Margot Robbie's a beautiful woman. But I think most of this movie, it's just her, like, showing off her ass to people. And that's really what it is. It's disappointing. And I know, like, Harley Quinn is a very sexual character. There's no question about that. But you could have done so much other cool stuff with this character, and such emphasis is placed just on her body. It's a waste. But thankfully, they rectified that in Birds of Prey, chat. I can report that. And, you know, she's putting on her little costume, and everyone's like, ooh. And she's like, what? And there's some like, various dialogue moments that are actually kind of fun. The whole thing about, it's like, oh, I should break free and kill them all. And, you know, everyone's like, what? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. The voices. It's like, okay, that's a kind of fun line. I like Harley Quinn and Deadshot's dynamic. I think that's kind of fun. I really like, I'll tell you this, chat, I like Jai Courtney as Boomerang. You know, he doesn't get a lot to do, but what he does, he's a fun character. He's weird. Fucking masturbating to pink unicorns and shit, but it's like, okay, I like this. The rest of the people, I don't give a shit about. They're terrible. So Rick Flag says, hey, listen, okay, this is the mission. We're going to Midway City, which is under attack by terrorists, even though there's a fucking blue beam in the sky with giant garbage circling around. But sure, it's a terrorist attack. Yeah, no problem. If any of you betray me or try to take off or kill innocent people, I will kill you real good. And he shows them, like, little booms inside their necks and everything. And he's got a phone. It's like, okay, all right, man, we got it. So we're going to the city. We got to obtain the asset and get the fuck out of it. It's a rescue mission, Chad. Who are they rescuing? We don't know. Amanda Waller, she's in charge of the operation from afar. She's like, okay, you go ahead and do what you need to do. You got to get that asset's ass out of here as quickly as possible. So they go into the city via helicopter. We're introduced to another character, chat, who is like, who are you? Why are you disappearing all of a sudden? And her name is Katana. And her whole deal is, chat, she's a Japanese assassin, and her sword traps the souls of its victims. That's literally her introduction. And it's like, okay, I'm going to forget about you for the rest of this movie because you're not important and you're kind of lame. And her costume kind of sucks, too. So they go into the city. They get attacked by, I don't know, terrorists. One of the helicopters they're in, it gets brought down. And fucking, like, they'd be dead, Chad. Like, they crash in the goddamn ground, tumbles like dozens upon dozens of times. They all walk out. It's like, woo, what a ride. It's like, oh, bullshit. You have goddamn linguini arms and legs and necks at this point. You wouldn't be able to move your body, but sure, they made it, Chad. Because they're the bad guys. They can handle that kind of shit. And, they're also with another team of soldiers, and they go off in their direction on their missions. Like, okay, sure, whatever. Meanwhile, chat, Amanda Waller figures out the Enchantress was the one that betrayed them. And she tries to, basically, the contingency plan is an operation. She opens the box with the heart inside, stabs it. But then, because her brother apparently ate so many people, he hentai'd so many people, chat. So much hentai that he was then able to take his hentai energy and put it inside her, and then she was fine. And so it doesn't matter how many times Amanda Waller stabs the heart, Enchantress survives. And that's what she does, the popping in the locket. And that's about it. And it's like, oh, so what was the point of showing the box and everything? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Chad. Forget everything you know. So they're going out throughout the city, and, you get the banner between the characters. You get the moment where it's like, okay, we're establishing that the bombs do work, because fucking Captain Boomerang's like, okay, clearly the dumbest people among us is fucking Slipknot, the guy that can climb anything, excuse me, chat. He says, this whole bomb in the neck bullshit, it's not true, man. Slipknot's like, really? And not her? And he fucking takes off, chat. He starts climbing everything. He uses his grappling hook, and Rick Flair's like, no, you do that. And he presses the button, his head blows off, Chad. And Slipknot is gone. The most important character in this movie is now dead. I wanted to see him climb on more things. And we were denied that. And so it's like, okay, they're establishing the bombs do indeed work. Then they come upon a group of terrorists, Chad. But they're not fucking terrorists. They're the fucking putties from Power Rangers. This is what happens when Enchantress and her dumb brother start hentaiing people, chat. They turn the putties. They're all black. They can all hold machine guns and assault rifles really well, but they have like little eyes, like thousands and thousands of eyes all across their body. It's a really boring and shitty design. They're like bad CGI putties. And they're like, they do that weird noise. I'm like, okay. She's like, okay, we could probably go around this, but then the fucking putties, they just start coming for him. It's like, oh, we gotta take him down, but our bullets aren't working very well. You gotta shoot him in the head, chat. And fucking Deadshot knows this. I'll say this. The putties are super lame enemies, but this particular scene is cool in the way that Will Smith is, moving around and using all of his weapons and firearms. Like, okay, this is cool. I really like this. I mean, it's not shot in the best way, but they're showing off his skill set. And I appreciate that. We get some of the other characters. Some have guns, some don't. Fucking Harley Quinn's using her hammer to crush the guys, the putties' heads. Killer Croc just fucking hitting, breaking them apart and crushing them. Captain Boomerang using his boomerangs, buddy. And he's doing a good job, Chad. He's doing well. For some reason, the putties, they basically grab a hold of Rick Flag and they're dragging. He's like, don't drag me away. And they're dragging him away, and Harley Quinn and Deadshot going to rescue him. He's like, thank God, I appreciate it. Like, fuck you, asshole. We don't care about you. We just want to make sure that you live so we don't fucking die. And he's like, all right, fair enough. So they defeat the putties. Will Smith is very pissed at this point. He's like, okay, you said they were terrorists in this city. Those are putties from Power Rangers, and there's a big beam in the sky with floating trash around it. You're not telling us something. I'm not telling you nothing. And so they start walking again, chap, because they got to go towards the asset. They go to this big fucking building in the middle of the city. Nice little Easter egg. The building is called the John F. Ostrander complex or building. And that is the original creator of the Suicide Squad. So it's like, oh, that's really nice. Muddies. I love it, a given soul. We're going to call them Muddies. Oh, the Muddies. Yes, TM. But they go to the John F. Strander building. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Again, paying respect. I'm sorry that apparently the original creator, like, no, I like the movie a lot. It's like he didn't like the movie. But I'm glad that they gave him his respect because he absolutely deserves it. Because I like the Suicide Squad, the comics, not the movie itself. So they go inside this building. Oh, yeah, meanwhile, Diablo, he has been super pacifist because apparently, chat, we learn that he did something terrible before he went to prison. He hurt a lot of people, hurt people that were close to him. He's like, I'm gonna bring out that bad energy. And he's like, you're gonna have to, man. You gotta help us eventually, okay? And Diablo's like, no, man. And so they eventually go to the John Ostrander's building. They go inside, and the little comical sequence when Harley Quinn gets separated from the group. We learn that the phone that she's given by Ike Berkowitz early in the film that I forgot to tell you about, that he gives her. Apparently, Mr. J's coming for her, Chad. You can shut down the technology in her neck and she'd be A-okay. Still got a little bomb inside her. We got to get that out eventually, but whatever. We'll worry about that later, I imagine the Joker said. And so she's in the elevator. She's texting Mr. J. He's like, I'm almost there. And then she is come upon by the Muddies, Chad. They come in here. They do. It's like that. This action sequence is not much, really. I mean, they really do some great stuff with her in Birds of Prey. And here it's like, oh, it's fine. It's not terrible, but it's just fine. So she starts hitting the putties or the Muddies away, and then the elevators open up. She's like, what do you guys need? And she walks out, and you see that fucking David Ayers is following that ass. He's following that booty butt, Chad. He knows. We know what David Ayers wants. And all the other guys, they eventually start. Again, it's just the same fucking action scenes over and over again. They fight the Muddies. They go after Rick Flag for a second time. They stop him from going after Rick Flag. Some lame jokes spread throughout it. It's not really entertaining. Eventually, Will Smith convinces El Diablo to get his shit together and start helping. Because listen, man, we're gonna, we can take out the Muddies for right now, but we're gonna eventually need your help. Because it might be a greater threat. And he pisses him off and he uses his flame hands. It's like, I didn't really like the effect in this. That's kind of lame, but he did it. And he's like, oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't, no beef, man. I just needed to get you there. It's like, okay, whatever. They eventually go up to the floor they need to go on, and chat. The fucking Rick Flag's like, okay, you guys wait here. I'm gonna go get the asset. Goes into all the security doors, chat, and the asset is Amanda Waller herself. She was here the entire time. They got to get her the fuck out of here, her and her people. Although apparently she said, well, no, I only care about me and me alone. Fuck the other people that were helping me. She just mows down the rest of her assistants in the room. It's like, wait a minute, what? Oh, Garden Angel, thank you so much for resubscribing 2 months in a row. Yes, 2 months. Hey, man, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? That's the thing that happens, chap. It's confusing because she says, oh, they weren't clear for this operation. What do you mean they weren't clear for this operation? They work with you. They should know what their operations are. You're both stuck in the same city together. It doesn't make it, again, trying to establish like, that's a bad lady. That's what Rick Flag says. And, Will Smith says, that's gangsta. And it's like, okay. All right. Can we move on? And so they got her out of there, and the Suicide Squad's like, we don't want to do this. And then she threatens them, like, if you don't help me, I'll fucking kill all of you right here. Let's do it. Let's do it. And they're like, all right, we'll help you. They go up to the roof because they're going to get helicopters to extradite him from the top of the building. But something's not right because they got this one helicopter coming. And it's like, it's not responding to the walkie-talkie. It's like, oh no, it's been taken over. And then a fucking minigun erupts, chat, and starts shooting all the rest of Rick Flag's non-Suicide Squad members, the regular military guys. Starts shooting them, mows them all down. Everyone's taking cover. And it's the Joker, chat. He's here. And he's here to get his love. And Harley Quinn's like, all right, well, hopefully the thing in my neck is shut down. I think it indicated that it is. She starts running towards him, leaps to the helicopter, gets on the rope, and Jared Leto says, ha, ha, the entire time. Terrible laugh. She, crawls up there, doing her gymnastics, waving goodbye. Rick Flash like, it's not working, phone not working. And I was like, fucking Deadshot. You will be a free man. You'll be able to see your daughter again. Kill that clown. And he's like, all right, I'll try it. But we've already had, like, Harley and Deadshot have that dynamic, chat. Even though they've known each other for maybe a couple hours at this point, but, they care about each other. This is family dynamic right now. And so he's like, he aims, and we know that Deadshot never misses. Fires, pop! And Harley Quinn starts falling, unraveling. She's like, ugh. And it's a fake out. She goes, ha! And then Deadshot says, sorry, I guess I missed. And it's like, oh, great. That was incredibly well earned. And then fucking Harley Quinn gets up there into the helicopter. Her and Mr. J just start making out and everything. It's gross. And Matt Lois says, oh, fuck that. I'm going to kill that clown. Call another helicopter. She has like an infinite amount of helicopters, chat. And so she sends an attack helicopter off of them, process of destroying it. Mr. J and Harley are like, all right, this is our stop, baby. But then there's an explosion that rocks the helicopter. Harley Quinn falls out on top of a building. Mr. J falls back into the helicopter, and then Harley watches it crashes, and we assume that the Joker, chat, is dead. He's gone forever. Harley Quinn's really broken up about it. Again, it's like, all right. Apparently the director's cut, I don't know if there's a director's cut, chat, but there is scenes where the Joker does come back later in the film, not at the very end, but later on in the film. And like him and Harley Quinn break up or they get into a fight. I don't know. Maybe someone could explain that. I'm kind of curious. We family. What dynamic? I know, Chris Harris. The fake dynamic the movie tries to convince you it has. Aqua Pro, my friend from far away is alive, so I'm watching him. Oh, nice. I don't think it's in the cut. I don't think those scenes were okay. I thought because we've seen images of them because we see like Jared Leto's Joker come back, and it's even some of the trailers where he says bye bye, and he's in the suit that he wears. It's like black. It's like in a tuxedo, and we see that like part of his face is burned. It's like okay, clearly they shot some additional scenes here, but we just never saw him, so we'll never know. Never know. Yes, yeah, half his face is burned, and he's carrying a grenade. Yeah, exactly, man. It's freaking bizarre. But yeah, the Joker's gone for most of the rest of the movie. Harley Quinn is, she's sad because Mr. J, her pudding, is dead. The Suicide Squad. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, I missed something. Fuck, they call in another helicopter. Are we on like helicopter 6 or 7 at this point that picks up Amanda Waller and some of the other members of the soldiers that somehow survived? She gets out of there. She go in that direction. Meanwhile, we also cut back to the Chantress is popping and locking, and she's using her hentai to change some of the captured soldiers that were never introduced to other muddies. And, they're like, oh, that's how she makes her army chat. She just hentais them a lot. We then cut back to Amanda Waller. Her helicopter is then shot down by the muddies. And, she tries to find, she survives, chat, because these helicopters are built well. You can crash them. They'll fall easy, but on the inside, everyone's perfectly fine. Helicopter crashes. She's come upon by muddies. She kills a few of them, but they drag her out, chat, and they take her. They take her to the Enchantress because the Enchantress needs to use Amanda Waller to get government secrets to attack government facilities that could be a threat to her and her brother. I still don't know what the machine does yet, chat. Did they explain what the machine does at this point? I do not know. Hentai Army, exactly. And so the fucking Suicide Squad, they get back in touch with Harley and with the, they're like, oh, we're glad you're okay, I guess. Rick Flag then gets the orders like, Amanda Waller's helicopter got shot down. We got to go after her. And he's like, all right, the mission's not over, guys. She got captured again. So they go to the helicopter, and she's not there. Bullet holes everywhere. Fucking Will Smith, he finds some files, top secret files, chat. He starts just reading them, like voraciously, chat, just going through all of them. Eventually, they're going towards where Amanda Waller is. He fucking, then, Will Smith, from out of the blue, just chucks the folder right past Rick Flag. He's like, look at that bullshit. This is what this is. And it shows off all the stuff of Enchantress, Amanda Waller's plans, and so they're pissed off. Like, we were not made to do this. We have a crocodile man, a crazy lady. I shoot things really good. That guy throws boomerangs, and the other one is a pacifist gangster. We are not made for this mission, okay, man? And you lied to us about it. This wasn't no terrorist attack. This is a mythological threat that's like Superman level, and Superman's gone. You're an idiot. So fuck you, I'm gonna go get a drink. Rick Flag's like, I don't want you to do that. But Rick Flag, he's such a fucking beta male, it doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, Scott Eastwood's in this movie too. He plays one of the soldiers, like that's Rick Flag's buddy. He doesn't matter, Chad. He dies later on, and you don't even remember. It doesn't matter. And so the fucking Suicide Squad goes into the bar, and this is when the bonding moment happens, is when they start sharing all their various origins. Not origins, but just like how they're feeling about themselves. Again, we should have gotten a ton of this throughout the entire film. Like all these conversations, but we never do. And they try to just fast track it all right here. Oh, wait, we missed a whole lot of stuff. We got about 20 minutes left in this movie. Let's just reveal everything. So we learned that El Diablo, he fucking freaked out and killed his family by accident. That's why he doesn't want to use his powers anymore. Fucking Killer Croc thinks he's beautiful, but he's not. He's not. He's an old, saggy crocodile, man. Deadshot is upset because, he doesn't want his daughter to think he's a piece of shit. Captain Boomerang doesn't care. He's just drinking his beer. Harley's like, I'm sorry about Mr. J. That's really all this scene served. Rick Flag comes in. He's like, all right, listen, I understand you guys don't. At this point on, you guys are free to go. I get you. Because they also find out that he was fucking Enchantress too. And he breaks the little controller for the bombs. And no moves except this is a fun part. I actually like this moment where fucking Captain Boomerang just fucking shoots out. And he's like, fuck you guys, see ya. And he should have left for the entire film, honestly. But then you know what? Not Rick Flag. Fucking Deadshot's like, no, man, we're gonna do this for you. If I want to see my daughter again, I want to prove to her that I'm not a piece of shit. That I'm not a good person. I'm a bad guy, but I can do good things. And they're like, okay, here's the moment. Everyone starts walking out. We got a plan. So we're gonna go rescue Amanda Waller. We also find out in another scene that fucking Rick Flag and the Enchantress were gonna plant a bomb underneath the big Aztec brother, but Enchantress betrayed him. But the bomb is still in the subway system, and it's right underneath where they are. It's like, okay, cool. So we got to go there and plant the bomb effectively. So they get there. They find out that the subway's been flooded. And Scott Eastwood and apparently they brought scuba gear with them, chat. Okay, sure. They brought scuba gear with them, and they're going to go out down there and plant the bomb to kill Enchantress and her brother. But Crocodile Man, Killer Croc's like, no, guys. I'm gonna help you in this moment because I'm good at swimming. And he takes off all his clothes, chat. It looks terrible. It does not look. I don't care. It's fucking Oscar my ass. He takes all of it off and he goes in the water. He goes and starts swimming. It's ridiculous. So he starts helping them out. Harley, Deadshot, and all the rest of the team. Oh yeah, Captain Boomerang comes back for whatever reason. He's like, I'm gonna help you guys. I just did a little comedic beat back there to be charming. It's like, okay, whatever. So he's back with them too. They go into whatever the building is that they go into with the Enchantress is making her machine. The Enchantress starts fucking with them, showing them what they would want in their life. In Deadshot's vision, he sees himself killing Batman, spending his time with his daughter. In Rick Flag's vision, we see him fucking Juno Moon, the Enchantress. And then in Harley Quinn's vision, we see that she's living this idyllic kind of suburban life where she has 2 kids, and Jared Leto's not freaking weird and doesn't, multiple tattoos. He's just a normal guy, just going to the office, having a cup of coffee, giving a big old smooch to Harley Quinn and the baby. And it's like, oh, it's wonderful. But fucking El Diablo's like, this is bullshit because fucking Enchantress puts visions to his head. He's like, this is not real. I know what I did. I gotta live with it. I gotta own that shit. And he's like, I'm very mad about this. And so Suicide Squad, yeah, you're right, El Diablo. And then they start fighting with the Enchantress's brother. And at one point, El Diablo releases his full potential. He becomes Super Saiyan, chat. This is Super Saiyan 2 El Diablo. And he's like this god, I don't know, like a Mexican fire god? I don't know. It's weird. It's very surprising. He basically becomes a Diablo, the devil. He starts tussling with the Aztec god. At one point, fucking, the people who are underneath the subway that's been flooded, they're attacked by the Muddies, chat. Killer Croc's like, you go, Scott Eastwood, and plant that bomb. And Scott Eastwood, he goes swimming, chat. He plants the fucking bomb right there. By the way, it's a 2-second timer. What bomb would have a 2-second timer? At least do a countdown. Maybe give yourself, I don't know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Like maybe get out of there. Fuck it doesn't matter. But El Diablo's like, people are just like, El Diablo, get out of there. They're gonna release the bomb. He's like, no, blow it, do it. And you know, Scott Eastwood sacrifices himself, but no one cares, chat. No one cares about Scott Eastwood. Scott Eastwood activates the bomb. He blows up. Fucking blows up the Aztec god in El Diablo. El Diablo is dead. Enchantress is not happy about this bullshit. They start tussling with her, using all their various abilities. Eventually, like, did someone happens? Like, doesn't someone get the heart? Someone gets the heart here at this point, right? I think. Because her power, yeah, that's right. Because her brothers died, and her brother infused power within Enchantress, and now she's back at her regular state. Oh, yeah, that's right. Harley gets the heart. Thank you. See, I don't remember. I don't fucking remember anything in this last part. Harley gets the heart. They start fighting and tussling. I think at one point Rick Flag, because he's like, oh no, we crushed the heart, we killed Juno, and he's like, oh, this is quite the debate. And then we get they give him the heart, and we get one of the worst lines in the movie. It's like, this is fucking lame. Fucking Enchantress doing the popping and locking says to fucking Rick Flag, you don't have the balls, and he just crushes the heart, and she dies. And it's like, that was stupid. That was such a lame line. You don't have the balls. It's like, okay. Couldn't have thought of something better to say. That was the last line you're gonna give the enchant. Okay, whatever. So she dies apparently, but no, lo and behold, chat, it just killed the Enchantress and not Juno Moon. Juno Moon's okay. She's just covered in a lot of mud and shit, but she's fine. Rick Flag's happy. Suicide Squad's, yay, we did it. We were the bad guy saved the world, chat. We did it. And, Rick Flags like, all right, guy, you're good to go. I got Juno. We're going to go home and bone. But Amanda Waller, she's like, fuck that. No, you're not. I still have my little phone here, and I will kill all of you. But she's like, but then the Suicide Squad's like, hey, listen, we did a good job, right? Can we get at least some, reward of some kind? And she's like, all right, I'll give you something. And then we get some various vignettes of what the characters are doing. Deadshot is able, I think, to see his daughter on weekends from now on, under supervision from Rick Flag. We learned that fucking Deadshot's daughter apparently loves guns. She makes all these various references, but it's not a good relationship, Chad. It's kind of phony. We cut to Killer Croc. Oh, that's right, because everyone asks what they want in their in their lives, and I thought fucking Killer Croc goes BET, likes that black entertainment television, chat. Waylon Jones, give it to him. And so we see him in his goddamn cell. He's watching these very curvaceous black women shaking the booties, and he's like, yeah. He's all about it. We cut to Captain Boomerang, who apparently his thing, he just wanted a shit ton of beer, chat. He drank through all his beer, and now he's freaking the fuck out. Oh, and the last one is Harley Quinn. She wanted a cappuccino machine, and she's got espresso machine. She's been drinking a ton of that shit. But then, this all takes place in Belle Reve Prison. All of a sudden, Belle Reve Prison starts shaking, starts moving, and an explosion happens, chat. And out walks Mr. J. He's alive. He survived the events in Midway City, or whatever the fuck that place was called. Keystone, Midway, I don't remember. And then, Harley Quinn and Joker, they embrace, do a little dance, and they do the smooching. And that was Suicide Squad. That is that film. It is not good. You don't care about any of the characters. The action is pretty fucking terrible. It's a boring story. It's incomprehensible. The editing sucks. Yeah, it's one of the worst superhero movies of all time. It's definitely the, is it as bad as Batman v Superman? I don't know. I really have to think about it, because it might be worse than Batman v Superman. What do you guys think? What do you think is worse, Batman v Superman or Suicide Squad? Shincon, I'm here. The stream can officially begin. Well, thank God, man. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. I know I could begin. Chris Ayers, by the way, the southern accent isn't Kinnaman's actual accent. He's Swedish. Why the fuck? What? Why does he sound like a hick and everything he does? That's hilarious. Des, I like the first Enchantress transformation scene. No, I did. The little flip of the hand thing, like when she's on the table. That was a cool visual. That was a moment. That was a cool moment. I agree with you. Paradox, you liked it? All right. Hey, to each their own. Agree to disagree, my friend. I say oh my God. Blah. Excuse me, chat. I'd say Suicide Squad is worse. It's not good. Suicide Squad, hands down. Says Rads. Trini, I would much rather watch BVS over Suicide Squad. Well, there we go. Suicide Squad, both equally bad. He's Swedish American. A lot of Suicide Squads, but some people who said Batman v Superman. Interesting. Generally, Suicide Squad and Justice League are Frankenstein's monsters in terms of editing and footage shot. You're right about that. Yeah, there's no question. They had no idea what they wanted those movies to be. They panicked, and they became these abominations. And it's weird that, you know, Suicide Squad was so successful and Justice League just wasn't, because people were just burned out. And I really do wonder if just people are burned out because no one went to go see. A lot of people just didn't go see Birds of Prey, which I'm disappointed by, because that's, to me, an actual good movie, very entertaining film. This is what, in a way, it's what Suicide Squad should have been. Birds of Prey. BVS has higher highs and lower lows. It most certainly does. Fucking Martha. Ugh. Ugh.